Oh, that was very good. All right, Tony, that was a good question. Gentrification. How do you think these big buildings that go into urban areas get developed? They have to get the money from somewhere, and unfortunately, developers are getting the money from the banks, who are getting the money from the funds, the union funds, and all of these other different type of funds, whether it be your 401k plan or the Roth funds or whatever it may be. They're borrowing the money because nobody's walking around with $100 million in their pocket, so they have to get the money from somewhere. So technically, most people are paying for the gentrification in their own neighborhood, because I come and I build $100 million building. I have a lot of units. I'm going to charge more for this property now because I'm bringing luxury and amenities, and it's going to increase the property values in this neighborhood, which means the people who are already there are probably not going to be able to afford to continue to live in here, as the property values go up. Because when the property values goes up, even if you're renting, the rents are going to go up, right? And most people are paying for their own gentrification through their union funds and through these development programs that are getting a lot of money from these lending organizations. They build these luxury buildings in urban where they probably got the land for pennies on a dollar, and it's attracting more businesses to that. So people with more money are coming. So those people with less money are then being kind of pushed out. If I was to look on the Webster dictionary, it says gentrification, a process of which a poor area as a city experiences an influx of middle class or wealthy people who renovate and rebuild homes and businesses, which often results in an increase in property values and the displacement of the earlier, usually poor residents. Okay, so they come in, they bring new businesses. It's the same thing you can look up in Harlem. What's happening in Harlem? 125th Street has changed dramatically. You're seeing big chains come in like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and Safari and Pandora and more banks, because that tells you where it's going. After a while, 125th ain't gonna look like 125th. It's already made a big change. There's a lot of money coming in there, right? And so, but what people don't realize is that that money has to come from somewhere. So the developer, he can pay back after he sell all the units, he can pay back that $100 million with no problem, and everything else is just a profit, but he had to get that money from somewhere. And unfortunately, it's coming from your 401k plans. Unfortunately, it's coming from your funds, all of these different development funds and lending agencies. Remember, they're in the business of making money, so they want to give it to people who they can make a good interest off over a period of time. And they come in and they build these rentals that are way overpriced in what has already been there, and therefore it prices the people who have been in this neighborhood for long periods of time out. And unfortunately, it's the poor people, the hard-working people that this money is being coming from. Why the bank will give you, zeros on people like save money. But, last time I checked the rate, it was like 0.09, in interest rate of a checking account or savings account. So you're not really getting a whole lot. The money is making a lot of money for the banks and for these lending organizations. But yeah, most people are paying for their own gentrification, unfortunately, and it's not going to change, because where money goes, money flows. And if you change the dynamic of a neighborhood, only those who have that type of funds will be able to live there, thus far kind of pushing the poor people further and further out, away, where there is no big development going on. Because, when money's around, you'll know. Look and see in your neighborhood and see how many banks you got going around versus how many check cashing stores, may be in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because if there's banks, there's no need for check cashing stores. You understand? So, yeah, most people are paying for their own gentrification, and it's sad, but it's true. But that was a great question. Thanks.